What is all this? What? Not these decks again. No. Guys, I don't know what to do with these decks anymore. All of these, I don't know what to do. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a top 5 decks, but no, not a top 5 decks I like. It's actually a bit of a topic I've discussed on before. I'll leave the link in the description to my other video where I did top 5 decks. I think it was like the top 5 decks I hate, or yeah, something like that. I think it was top 5 decks I hate, or something like that. I don't remember. But today, this is top 5 decks that I very much dislike, because I can't have the same title for a video. But I figured I had another 5 decks that I really don't like. So these are top 5 decks that I dislike. And I just remembered the other title of the video was top 5 decks I regret owning. Anyway, that's going to be in the description. But now, let's get into it. Alright, now I have to figure out which one of these I want to have go first. So which one of these decks do I like the most? Because number 1 is going to be like on the scale of like they're okay. And number 5 is going to be like horrible, nasty, disgusting, awful. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of organizing here. All right, now that the organization is done, let's actually talk about something else. So I want to talk about what is behind me. This is my new deck holder that I got for my birthday this year. And I'm very excited to have that, as now I have 2, one here and one behind me. So it'll give you all a little bit more of a better aesthetic for videos and such, instead of the picture that was behind there, which is now over here on my wall. But yeah, definitely happy to have that. I'll pan the video up just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. I put the spade up there. That's also video. You should go check that out. I'm going to have a new woodworking video soon, by the way. And then over here, yeah, right there, that is the deck clip that I made. Not the greatest thing I've made, okay, I understand that, but it is definitely cool. So yeah, definitely excited to have that. Anywho, let's get into the first deck of this series. Well, yeah, first deck of the series. So this deck, I thought this was the X deck by Alex Pandrea. I was mistaken. You can see it's kind of like textured. Let me turn down the brightness a little bit. You can see it's kind of like textured. I don't know if you guys can see that. But it's textured and it's kind of weird. Let me read you the bottom. It says, it's not because you are old that you give up your love. It's the moment you give up your love that you're really old. So I did pick this up from Misdirections Magic Shop over in San Francisco. Joe is a great guy. Unfortunately, that I've mentioned this before, that footage got corrupted. Couldn't tell you how, but it just wouldn't load into my editing software, and I even tried a new editing software and it still wouldn't work. But yeah, so the reason I put this deck in this is I believe it's an Epic Playing Card Company? EPCC? Yeah, Expert Playing Card Company. There it is, Expert Playing Card Company. Oh, I forgot the name of my arch nemesis. Anyway, not a horrible deck at all. Let me pan this down a little bit. So definitely not bad, but just the overall feel of it, just horrible. They're so stiff. I know you could probably, like, I've broken these in even a little bit, and they're not horrible. Like, I'd rather have this than, like, I don't know, some Walmart deck. But definitely not one of my favorites, and that's why it's number 5 on this list. Anyway, moving on. Moving on to number 2 in this series, it's the Jet Setters. Which edition is this? Premier Edition, I believe. And yeah, don't get me wrong. I love Jet Setter decks, some of them. The black ones I'm not crazy about. The green ones I like. And the new teal ones, which are like the new invitational thing, and then it's going to be a Kickstarter. Those, I love those. Those are really sweet. Let me turn the brightness back up a little bit. But these are not my favorite. I did get these in a mystery grab from Decks on Decks. So I'm definitely not complaining because they're worth at least what I paid for them. But yeah, just overall, not really the greatest. They are printed by Expert Playing Card Company as well. They're good for packet cuts, as most Expert cards are, but overall the feel is they're very stiff. Yeah, they just don't feel that great at all. And like they're thin. Like if this was a USBCC deck, I'd be all over it. If they printed on EPCC, I'd buy their whole line. But yeah, that's generally why. Mostly just because of the brand, and I did a Let's Talk About Cards episode about that, about EPCC itself. But yeah, that's why they're number 2. Anyway, okay, so moving on to number 3, the middle of the ground. I kind of like it, I kind of hate it. Right there in the middle, it's gonna be, I think these are called the Jazz Stripes playing cards. So a little bit of a story. I reached out to Band Playing Cards over in California, and I was like, hey, I'd be willing to like promote your store and everything. I'll do like an unboxing video and everything. And he was kind enough to send me 3 decks. 2 of the 3 I really, really love. If you want to see a video about those, I might do one later. But these, not so much. Again, I'm very grateful because they were completely free. But they came, first of all, they came, I don't know, this isn't his fault. This is like more the manufacturer's fault. But they came like this. The tuck was already messed up. And also you had to like break this seal to open them. It's a very oddly designed tuck. Like you have to like force it. So I don't know what they're going with that. And it as you can see, it damages the tuck on the corners there. Here, let me turn down this brightness a little bit. It damages like the tuck box on the corners. So yeah, that's like one nay about this deck. And also, it's printed by Cardamundi on like that really nasty thick stock that I just don't like. A lot of cards do, and more power to them. Like again, if this was USPC deck, I'd be all over it because it is the design's very, very intriguing and cool. And just look how this looks in a fan. That is really sweet, and I definitely like it a lot. And honestly, I could use this deck more, but it's just a deck I don't use, and I mainly hate it because of the tuck box. Like the cards themselves, I don't mind Cardamundi thicker decks as much because they do last a little while, a little bit longer than the thin ones do. But just overall, not my favorite. And the deck actually handles fairly well. So if you're looking for like a decent handling Cardamundi deck, I would recommend this. But yeah, other than that, the tuck was just very poorly done. So that's why it's making it onto the number 3 spot on this list. Okay guys, coming into number 2. So these last 2 are decks that I just absolutely do not like, more than regret owning. And I actually bought them from the same person. Now, this same person is also my favorite person to buy playing cards from. So it is not his fault. Don't take that against him. It's my fault for ordering them because I didn't know exactly what they were. In case you're wondering, it's Nothing Only Cards. Steve, great dude. Can't praise him enough. Service is great. And yeah, I give him a free plug like at least once a month in a video because I always have stuff from him to unbox. But yeah, let's just take a look at these. It's the vintage label Gilded deck. And you can just see how thick this deck is. I was not aware of this when I bought them. And I was like, okay, I can get a Gilded deck. That's kind of sweet. No, it is not sweet. Let me just get rid of these ad cards real quick, and I will show you how beefy this deck is. It has 5 ad cards too, that's a little odd. Just look at, like the gilding's cool, but I mean, not great gilding. Just look how thick it is. I mean, and the cards are done on like a really weird finish. They feel like, it's like a Walmart brand deck. It's like a cardboard deck, but gilded. That's pretty much what they feel like. They're not even plasticky. I mean, maybe a little plasticky, but yeah, the gilding is just not worth the price for this deck. Oh gosh, I have to use like all my force to spring the cards. So yeah, that's why it makes it on to number 2. Definitely not a fan of these, but don't take that against Steve. He's just a seller. I was just a buyer that didn't know what I was buying. I had been more than overjoyed with everything, like 98% of the stuff I bought from Steve. So definitely go check him out. I'll leave a link to his, so I don't know why that cut off, but what I was saying is I'll leave a link to his shop down below. Anyway, moving on to number 1. The number 1 deck I hate. And I was really, really looking forward to this deck when it came out, but I should have known because it's a King's Wild Project deck, and you know who they print with. So here it is. It's the legal tender. Hollow? Or is this just a normal legal tender? To my Jackson Robinson series, that Kingswell project. So yeah, legal tender deck. I also bought this from Steve. It was a deck I was looking forward to. Yeah, it is. I think this is the hollow version. And I was like, oh yeah, it was gonna be so cool. No, it is not. It's not cool. It's printed by Expert, and it's beefy. Like, look, let me just get one of these like thinner Cardamuni decks, okay? The whole deck in the tuck box is thinner than this deck outside of the tuck box. Like, what? Also, I love these Kingslayers, by the way. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it. But yeah, this is just, If you guys are willing for me to give away used decks, this would be one to give away. Should I even talk about the handling? Let me just get up and show you, okay? Let's just look at this handling, okay? Just, oh. Do you guys see? Can I even? Yeah, I mean, I have to use like all my hand strength. You can't do, yeah. Oh my gosh. Really cool though, I can't lie. It's a cool deck. It's like holographic. Again, if this was printed on EPCC, I would be a much happier person about owning this deck. I'd be much happier about owning it. But wow, is it thick. But yeah, that's pretty much why this one makes it onto the number 1 spot. Anyway, let's do the outro. Alright guys, I hope you did enjoy this video as it is the end. Anyway, if you're new here, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like if you did enjoy, and comment for what you want me to see next. I try and do all of the suggestions that you guys leave, so any deck reviews you'd like to see me do, if I own the deck, I will totally review it, and if you want to send me a deck that I don't have to review, I'll totally do that too. Anyway guys, that's about all I got for you. I'm the Wooden Cardist, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.